a writer-director, Lee Wanell, who started his career with the low-budget horror movie Saw. He's had a very successful career as a writer with Saw, the Insidious films, and he shows up briefly in the Aquaman film, which is directed by Saw director James Wan, who's one of my favorite directors and one of my favorite horror directors, and has made 2 films that have grossed $1 billion worldwide. Aquaman and Fast and the Furious 7, and he may direct Aquaman 2. I don't know. But anyway, Lee Wanell...
That's the sound of my head hitting the desk.
I didn't quite get that. So Lee Wanell is actually, he's gone over into directing. He did one of the Insidious films. He also did a film called Upgrade, which is supposed to be really good. It's like an action...
Upgrade? What's that?
It's like an action sci-fi film where a guy turns into like a Terminator kind of thing. It's supposed to be quite good, but...
please shut down. Please shut down while we update your machine.
And he's...
Optimizing updates, 23% done.
He's had a pretty good week.
We encountered a problem while restarting.
He's got 2 films in development. Both of them are kind of... Well, one of them's a remake, and the other one is a kind of remake. It was announced that he was going to do a new version of The Invisible Man, which could be interesting. And the other remake, which they've been trying to do this one for a really long time with different directors like Robert Rodriguez, but they're actually going to remake Escape from New York, which he's also going to direct, which you've not seen. Escape from New York.
No, I haven't seen. There was some Robert Rodriguez thing. He's doing a film with the characters who have big eyes.
Alita Battle Angel. Yeah, it's based off a manga comic called Alita Battle Angel, and it's James Cameron. Sorry, he's had the rights for years, and he's been trying to make it into a film for such a long time, and I think he collaborated with Robert Rodriguez to sort of bring this film to life. Apparently, it's supposed to be quite good. I mean, narratively, it's a bit clunky, but visually, it's quite amazing, I've heard.
It looks absolutely fucking daft. And it's also, again, it's with this, like, the cartoonification of the world. It's like, it's like a film that's been made with a Snapchat filter, where everyone's got huge eyes and fucking antlers and hearts coming out of their head. I mean, they don't have antlers and hearts coming out of their head, but it looks visually, it looks absolutely woeful. I really don't like all this uncanny valley stuff that's going on at the moment. Why are we making these almost photorealistic computer-generated films?
Well, blame James Cameron. He did it with Avatar, and it seems to be the trend.
Yeah, but no, I don't see the reason behind it. I don't see this. It sort of disturbs me a little bit that everything is a sort of augmented or distorted reality. It's not. It's a tiny bit sinister. I think there's no realism in big budget, in mainstream film anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. It's a little bit sad. I mean, I do like films that actually, build the sets and have something that the actors can react to. That's why I really, when I watched Lord of the Rings over Christmas with Felina because she hadn't seen them before. And the way that they just built all those sets or just went to the certain locations in New Zealand and had all those actors and put them in there, you really believe that world. Like believe that the world has a texture to it. It has a mood. It has a heart and soul to it. And you can always feel like you could put yourself there. And you can't really get that if you... There's nothing to hang your hat on. There's nothing tactile. There's nothing to grab. There's nothing that feels real in any way. So it just all becomes this kind of sheen, Yeah, I think even in the late 90s, they were sort of playing around a little bit with doing computer-generated worlds a little bit. And I think Gangs of New York, the Martin Scorsese film, I mean, it's a very flawed movie, but I like the fact that, Martin Scorsese, because he's such an old-school director, he just built those sets in the studios in Rome. And then George Lucas came to the set and said, you can do all these on a computer, And I'm guessing he probably slapped him across the head. So I feel, and also Sleepy Hollow with the sets that they built there, that was so cool and just gives something that the audiences react to.
Well, that's what we talked about on the Sleepy Hollow podcast. Yeah. You could go to that town and I'd know how to walk around it. I'd know my way to the pub. I know my way to the pub in every town, but that's irrelevant. But the point is that, you're right. That does have an impact. That does translate into the final product.